Jim Collins asked, are you trying to live a life that others would envy or a life that others would admire? And I found this an interesting question. And as I look at my own life, I wonder how many things I'm doing because I'm interested in the prestige, but in the jealousy of others, in looking impressive to others. And at the moment, I'm reading a biography that was recommended by Jim Collins, which is the Ron Chernow biography of George Washington. And I think reading the biography, the life of someone who lived 250 years ago, and the challenges that George Washington lived through, the illness at that time was a real issue. Antibiotics didn't exist. And military uncertainty was a big deal. So as I read the life of George Washington, on the one hand, he was lucky to live at a time of great change in the world that propelled him from a life of envy, a life. He was a wealthy man in Virginia. He had a lot of wealth, a lot of land, a lot of riches, and he could easily have lived a life that others would envy. But I think looking as he grew through his life, he moved away from looking to live a life of envy, a life of prestige, a life that was impressive to others. And both the situation, the circumstances, and his own development as a human moved him to looking to live a life worthy of admiration. And as I, on these Christmas holidays, read of the life of George Washington, I'm reflecting on to what degree in times of crisis it makes it easier for us to make this choice of the path of living a life worthy of admiration, of taking actions that don't lead to others being impressed by us, but lead to others admiring the way we've faced the challenges in our life. And there's been times this year I've wished it were easier. My life up till 2019 is standing on a stage and speaking to a big group of people. So 2020 for me has been a very different year. And there's been moments I've felt sorry for myself, but it's also pushed our family closer together. And it's given me some challenges that allow the choices of admiration. So there's a prism with which to look at 2020. The challenges that have been put in front of us have at many times made it harder to live a life that others would envy. But it's given us the opportunity to take decisions and carry out actions and be there for other people in a way that would be characteristic of a life worthy of admiration. And that's certainly a perspective I want to bring to the next year, that more of my decisions I take not out of wanting to look impressive for others, a life worthy of envy, but taking decisions in how I face up to challenges, how I help others, how I reach out, how I use the platform that you and the other viewers have given to me on YouTube and in other forums to take decisions to support others. And I love the word inspire is to put the spirit into things, to put the spirit into yourself, to put the spirit into the way you carry on your life, and to breathe the spirit into other people. And I guess this prism of choosing to live a life of admiration and choosing to be a source of inspiration, choosing to be someone who actively breathes the spirit, energy, passion, joy, encouragement into other lives. And that's certainly my Christmas wish for you, that you make the choice that even when things don't go quite the way that you're planning, you choose to put spirit into everything, and you choose to breathe the breath of encouragement into the lives of others, because you never underestimate the power of a word of encouragement. And few people have reached out to me and just given me a word of encouragement, and it can be so important. Happy Christmas. Have a great end of this turbulent 2020. Fingers crossed that with the vaccines coming through, with the process of vaccination already started in several parts of the world, by Easter maybe we'll start to see the COVID pandemic under some degree of control, and we begin to travel and see our families and see our friends the way that perhaps 2020 has not been possible. Have a great one.